Machiavelli understood something 5 centuries ago that most people still refuse to accept today. The world does not reward the kind, the loud, or the honest. It rewards the strategic. It rewards the calculated. It rewards those who learn the game before they step onto the board. Today, I am handing you 7 secrets that powerful men and women have protected for generations. These are not theories. These are not motivational quotes for your wallpaper. These are weapons. And by the time this video ends, you will either see the world with brand new eyes, or you will wish you never pressed play. Drop this in the comments right now. I am ready to learn what the powerful already know, because that decision is the first move. Secret number 1, master the art of saying nothing. The first secret the powerful never reveal is devastatingly simple. They learn to shut their mouths. You think power comes from speaking up, from being heard, from dominating every conversation in the room. You are wrong. Power comes from what you withhold. Machiavelli wrote that a prince must be a fox, and a fox does not announce its presence when it enters the forest. Every word you speak is a coin you are spending, and most people are bankrupt by noon because they cannot stop talking. They tell people their plans. They share their emotions with strangers. They hand their strategies to their competitors, wrapped in casual conversation, and call it being open. The powerful do not operate this way. When you say nothing, people are forced to guess. And when people guess, they project their own fears, their own insecurities, their own assumptions onto you. That projection becomes your armor. Silence makes you unpredictable, and unpredictability is the currency of control. You ever notice how the loudest person in the room is almost never the one in charge? That is not a coincidence. That is a law. The one who speaks the least controls the frame because everyone else is performing while he is observing. He is collecting data. He is reading the room like a map while everyone else is busy trying to be seen. From today, I want you to practice strategic silence. When someone tries to provoke you, say nothing. When someone asks what your next move is, smile and change the subject. When the room is filled with noise, be the stillness in the center of the storm. That stillness is not weakness. That stillness is the loudest form of dominance the world has ever known. Speak less. Observe more. Control everything. Secret number 2. Make people need you, never need them. The second secret is the backbone of every empire ever built. Dependency is the invisible throne. You do not need to conquer people. You do not need to threaten them or force them into submission. You simply need to become so valuable that their world falls apart without you. Machiavelli understood that the prince who makes himself necessary never has to demand loyalty, because loyalty comes to him on its knees. Think about that for a moment. The most powerful person in any room is not the one with the title or the money. It is the one that everyone else depends on. The one who holds the knowledge, the access, the skill, or the connection that nobody else can provide. That is real power. It is quiet, it is structural, and it is almost impossible to overthrow. Now here is where most people destroy themselves. They chase approval instead of building value. They want to be liked when they should be engineering a position where they are needed. Being liked is temporary. Being needed is permanent. The man who is liked gets invited to the party. The man who is needed owns the building the party is held in. Stop asking yourself how to make people like you and start asking a far more dangerous question. How do I make it so that they cannot function without me? Build skills others cannot replicate. Hold knowledge others cannot access. Position yourself at the center of systems so that removing you would cause the entire structure to collapse. This is not cruelty, this is architecture. You are building a fortress, not with bricks and steel, but with irreplaceable value. The moment you need someone more than they need you, you have handed them a leash and put it around your own neck. Never let that happen. Be the supply in a world full of demand. Before we go further, drop this in the comments. I choose to be needed, not just liked, because that single shift changes your entire strategy. Secret number 3. Never show your wounds. The third secret will save your life if you let it sink deep enough. Never bleed in public. The world does not care about your pain. That is not cynicism. That is a fact carved into the walls of every empire that ever rose and fell. Machiavelli warned that a prince who shows weakness invites attack, and nothing has changed in 500 years. The moment you reveal your wounds to the wrong person, you have given them a map to your destruction. Every insecurity you confess becomes ammunition. Every fear you share becomes a strategy someone will use against you when the time is right. And the most dangerous part is that it will not come from your enemies. It will come from the ones who smiled at you while they listened. The powerful understand something that the average person refuses to accept. Emotion is information. When you cry in front of someone, you are not bonding, you are broadcasting. You are telling every observer in the room exactly where your armor is cracked and exactly where to aim when the moment comes. This does not mean you do not feel. This does not mean you become a machine. The powerful feel everything. They rage, they grieve, they burn on the inside, just like everyone else. But they choose their audience with surgical precision. They bleed in private, they heal in silence, and they return to the world looking like nothing ever happened. That is not suppression, that is strategy. Marcus Aurelius led an empire while writing his private pain into journals no one was meant to read. He did not perform his suffering for the crowd, he processed it alone and showed the world only his strength. You must learn to do the same. Build a circle so small and so trusted that you could count it on one hand. Those are the only people who get to see the real you. Everyone else gets the version of you that is unshakable, composed, and untouchable. Protect your wounds like you would protect your wallet in a room full of thieves. Because in this world, vulnerability in the wrong room is not courage. It is a death sentence. Secret number 4. Control the story, control the world. The fourth secret is the most dangerous weapon in the arsenal of the powerful. Whoever controls the narrative controls reality itself. Machiavelli did not just write about armies and alliances. He wrote about perception. He understood that it does not matter what is true. It matters what people believe is true. And the one who shapes that belief holds more power than any king sitting on any throne. Look around you. The richest people on this planet do not just sell products, they sell stories. The most influential leaders do not just give orders, they craft narratives that make people want to follow. Wars are not won on battlefields alone. They are won in the minds of the public long before the first shot is fired. This is the game you were never taught to play. Most people walk through life reacting to the stories other people tell about them. Someone calls them weak, and they spend years trying to prove otherwise. Someone labels them a failure, and they carry that label like a chain around their neck. They let the world write their biography, and then wonder why the ending is tragic. The powerful do not make this mistake. They write their own story before anyone else gets the chance to pick up the pen. They control what people see, what people hear, and most importantly, what people assume. They understand that perception is not a side effect of reality. Perception is the only reality that matters in the game of power. From today, I need you to understand something that will shift the entire axis of your life. You are not just a person, you are a brand. You are a narrative walking through the world, and every room you step into is an audience. How you dress, how you speak, how you carry your silence, how you time your words. All of it is telling a story, whether you are aware of it or not. The question is whether you are the author or the character. The weak let others define them. The strong define themselves so clearly and so powerfully that no outside voice can overwrite the image they have built. Stop defending yourself against false narratives. Start building a narrative so dominant that every lie told about you sounds ridiculous before it even finishes leaving someone's mouth. Reality does not rule this world. The story about reality does. And from this moment forward, you are the one holding the pen. Secret number 5. Study people like a science. The fifth secret separates the predator from the prey. The powerful study human beings, the way a scientist studies cells under a microscope. They do not guess what people want. They do not assume what people fear. They observe, they test, they collect data in silence, and then they use that data with devastating precision when the moment demands it. Machiavelli wrote that a wise prince must know the nature of men before he can ever hope to govern them. And this principle does not only apply to rulers and kingdoms, it applies to you right now, in every room you walk into, in every deal you negotiate, in every relationship you build. Most people are walking through life blind. They take words at face value. Someone says, "I am your friend," and they believe it without question. Someone says, "Trust me," and they hand over the keys to their entire life. This is how people get destroyed, not by obvious enemies, but by smiling allies whose motives they never bothered to study. The powerful do not make this mistake. They watch what people do when they think no one is paying attention. They listen not just to what is being said, but to what is being avoided. They track patterns. They notice who only calls when they need something. They notice who changes their tone depending on who is in the room. They notice the micro-expressions that flash across someone's face for half a second before the mask goes back on. This is not paranoia. This is intelligence. Every single person you meet is operating from a set of desires, fears, insecurities, and ambitions. These are their levers. And the person who identifies those levers first holds the power in that dynamic, whether the other person realizes it or not. Robert Greene wrote that you should never take the version people present to you as the full truth. Every human being is performing a version of themselves designed to get something from the world around them. Your job is to see past the performance and into the machinery behind it. Start studying body language. Start paying attention to the gap between what people promise and what they actually deliver. Start noticing who feeds you information and ask yourself why they want you to have it. Nothing in the world of power is accidental. Every favor has a motive. Every compliment has a direction. Every silence has a meaning. When you begin to read people at this level, you will feel like you have been given a cheat code to the entire human experience. Conversations will become transparent. Manipulations will become obvious before they are even fully executed. And the people who once confused you will suddenly become as predictable as the sunrise. Study people like your future depends on it, because it does. Secret number 6. Move in silence, strike with precision. The sixth secret is the one that separates the amateurs from the architects of power. Never announce your moves. The world is obsessed with noise. People post their goals on social media before they have taken a single step. They tell their friends about the business they are going to start before they have written a single plan. They announce their comeback before they have even begun the work. And then they wonder why the universe seems to resist them at every turn. It is not the universe, it is exposure. The moment you reveal your move, you activate every opposing force around you. Jealousy wakes up. Competition sharpens its blade. Doubt starts whispering in the ears of the people you thought were on your side. Machiavelli understood that war is not won in the moment of the attack, it is won in the months of silence that come before it. The general who tells his enemy where he will strike has already lost the battle before it begins. The powerful apply this principle to every area of their lives. They build in the dark. They strategize behind closed doors. They let the world assume they are standing still while they are quietly constructing an empire beneath the surface. And by the time anyone realizes what has happened, it is already too late to stop it. That is precision. That is the art of the silent strike. You need to understand that the urge to share your plans is not ambition. It is insecurity. It is a need for validation disguised as excitement. You want people to clap for you before you have done anything worth clapping for. And that applause becomes a trap, because once you have received the emotional reward of being praised for the idea, your brain loses the hunger to execute it. The powerful never fall into this trap. They let their results make the noise. They stay invisible until the moment of impact, and when that impact lands, the world has no choice but to pay attention. Think about the most powerful moves in history. None of them were announced in advance. They came out of nowhere and reshaped everything. That is the energy you need to carry from this moment forward. Stop telling people what you are working on. Stop updating the world on your progress. Stop performing your ambition for an audience that does not pay your bills and does not lose sleep over your failures. Let them see nothing. Let them hear nothing. Let them assume you are ordinary and comfortable and finished. And then, when the time is right, when every piece is in its place and every variable has been accounted for, you strike. Not with anger, not with desperation, but with the cold, calculated precision of someone who has been planning this moment while the rest of the world was sleeping. Silence is not just golden. In the game of power, silence is the entire currency. Move like a shadow, arrive like a storm, and never let them see you coming. Secret number 7. Become the person no one can afford to lose. The 7th and final secret is the crown jewel of everything you have heard tonight. And if you absorb nothing else from this video, let it be this. Become so valuable, so dangerously competent, so strategically woven into the fabric of every system you touch, that removing you would be the most catastrophic mistake anyone could ever make. This is not about ego. This is not about walking into a room and demanding respect like a child throwing a tantrum for attention. This is about quietly and methodically engineering your existence so precisely that you become the foundation beneath every structure you are part of. You become the load-bearing wall. Pull you out and the entire building folds in on itself. Machiavelli wrote about princes who held power not through fear alone and not through love alone, but through something far more unshakable: necessity. The prince who makes himself necessary does not need to threaten anyone. He does not need to beg for loyalty or buy allegiance with favors. People protect him because protecting him is protecting themselves. His survival is their survival. His fall would be their fall. That is the position you must construct for yourself, not on a throne in some ancient kingdom, but right here in the modern world. In your career, in your business, in your relationships, in every single arena where power is quietly exchanged between those sharp enough to understand the game being played beneath the surface. Most people are replaceable, and the tragedy is they do not even know it. They show up every day, they do what is asked, they follow instructions. They blend into the machinery of the world like an interchangeable bolt in a massive engine, and then they are genuinely shocked when the machine spits them out and keeps running like they were never even there. The powerful refuse to live this way. They develop skills that would take another person years to replicate. They accumulate knowledge that cannot be Googled or downloaded or stolen from a textbook. They position themselves at the critical intersection of people and systems and information so that their absence would create a vacuum that no amount of money or manpower could fill. This is not arrogance. This is the final and most devastating evolution of power. You do not chase it. You do not perform for it. You do not post about it or beg for it or explain it to people who are not ready to understand it. You become it. You become the person that others unconsciously orbit around without fully understanding why. You become the stillness in the room that every pair of eyes looks toward when chaos erupts and decisions need to be made. You become the mind that people consult before they make the most important moves of their lives. Not because you campaigned for that role, but because you built yourself into someone who earns it by default through relentless preparation and strategic silence. Tonight, you have been handed 7 secrets that the majority of the human population will live and die without ever learning. Silence as a weapon, dependency as a throne, wounds guarded like classified intelligence, narrative as the true battlefield, human nature as a cold and exact science, movement in shadow with strikes of surgical precision, and now the final master key, making yourself absolutely irreplaceable. These are not motivational quotes to screenshot and forget. These are architectural blueprints for building a life that no one can ignore and no one can dismantle. The only question left is whether you will use them or let them dissolve into the noise of another video you watched at midnight and forgot by morning. Subscribe if you want to go further, not as a favor to this channel, because the conversation that comes after this one goes even deeper into the architecture of power, and that level of precision is only for the ones who stayed. Drop this in the comments before you leave. I am the architect of my own power. I move in silence. I build without permission. I start now. Because that sentence is the difference between the ones who understand the game and the ones who are still being played by it. Which one are you?